after the first preseason. Had a bunch of great games. Got to see a bunch of rookie quarterbacks out there, backup quarterbacks doing their thing, slinging the ball. Got to see some good defensive play, some good defensive rookies, some young players out there. It was a very good weekend of football. I am really glad that the Hall of Fame game performance rolled over into week one. That was one of my big concerns, was that we were just going to get a great Hall of Fame game, and then after that it was going to, kind of fall off to the wayside, but it didn't do that. It was great. It was there was a lot of great games, a lot of great players. I watched the Cowboys-Seahawks game, and it was a good game. It really was a good game. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I really did. Again, the Seahawks are, defending champions. They really didn't put much out there. Really wasn't any starters or anything out there. Nothing to complain about. But the reason why I bring up that game is the Dallas Cowboys have a player that I have found interesting for a while now, and that's Milton. That's their backup quarterback, Milton. I actually think he's their third string quarterback, Joe Milton. Joe Milton was 12 for 15, 107 yards, 1 touchdown. But he also had 7 carries for 10 yards, and he did pretty good. The reason why I bring up Joe Milton is I've actually brought up Joe Milton a lot. I really have. And the reason why I've brought up Joe Milton a lot is I think Joe Milton is one of those quarterbacks that's buried on a depth chart. I really think Joe Milton could be a starter in the NFL on the right team. And I have said this for a couple years now. I think he's buried on the Cowboys roster spot for one or two reasons. One, he's a good, viable backup. Two, he's going to be the future of the Cowboys whenever Dak Prescott retires. Or Dak Prescott's contract gets to a point to where Jerry Jones is like, yeah, we're going to go into a different direction. But Joe Milton is one of those players that I feel is buried. I really do. I think Joe Milton is buried on a depth chart. And that could be a good or bad thing. I don't know. Again, are they keeping him there to be a viable backup to Dak Prescott? Are they keeping him there to allow him to grow more, to take over when Dak Prescott is finally done? It's a great question, and it really is. I mean, the NFL is... I gotta move my chat box. The NFL is very, very interesting. It really is. And... Good morning. Did Von Miller go to Dallas? Yes, he did. Von Miller did sign with the Dallas Cowboys, which, a lot of Bronco fans have reached out to me and asked me if I'm upset. And no, I'm not. I didn't want Von Miller back with the team. Anyway, we have good linebackers. We have good backup linebackers. We have good rookie linebackers. Bringing in Von Miller. You're only going to get a couple plays out of him a game, which is fine. But you are bringing in a good veteran linebacker to help younger guys. You got to remember, Dallas at one point last year had the worst, if not the worst, defense in the NFL. And so, yeah. Bringing him in, you're bringing in the veteran presence. You're bringing in somebody who's very knowledgeable. I mean, you're bringing in somebody who has 138.5 sacks, two-time Super Bowl champion, 7-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowl. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler. So you're bringing in somebody who is good for your locker room, exactly, and it's good for your younger guys. Again, you got to remember, Dallas is going in a different direction, right? After they got rid of Mike McCarthy, brought in Brian Schottenheimer, who really turned around that offense last year. I mean, that offense was great. At one point in time, I think it was up to like week 11, week 12, they had the number one offense in the NFL, the number one scoring offense. Yards, everything like that. They were a dynamic offense. But when you flip the page on that team, their defense was absolutely horrible. Their defense was trash. And we've seen that throughout the NFL many times. You come in and you have a dominant offense and a very bad defense. or you have a dominant defense and a very bad offense. Just look at the Houston Texans last year. The Texans' defense is what won them games last year. I know some will say, well, C.J. Stroud, he was hurt, this and that. I get that. He was out a couple games. But even when he was in there, C.J. Stroud had problems holding onto the ball. What's up, City Boy? C.J. Stroud had a turnover problem. Do I think Joe Milton is a franchise quarterback? Yes, I do. I literally do. You put him in the right environment. I really think you can build a team around him. I really do. What is up with the Eagles? Again, I had said it last year, and I think it's going to be again this year. Are the Eagles going to find their identity? Again, you lost A.J. Brown. Everybody was happy. Oh, A.J. Brown's gone. The distraction in the locker room's gone. Cool. So you got rid of that distraction. You still got to find your... It is 8 o'clock Eastern time for our Turf Talk. You still got to find your identity on offense.
ARMCHAIR.
Yes, sir. What is up, my brother D?
I'm good, man.
I'm doing pretty good, man. Pretty good. Watched a whole bunch of football this weekend. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Watched a lot of really good games. Saw a lot of good backups. Saw a lot of good rookies. Ty Simpson was one of them. I still kind of worry about Ty Simpson. Y'all know I am an Alabama Crimson Tide fan. Watched him at Alabama. I'm glad he's with the Rams. I'm glad that he's with Sean McVay. Sean McVay, in my opinion, is one of the best quarterback coaches in the NFL.
Return to the work. I know it.
The Dolphins played really well. They did. So, yes, Von Miller has signed with the Dallas Cowboys.
I thought that the preseason games were entertaining us.
I thought they were entertaining. There was a lot of really entertaining games this weekend. A lot. And I'm very happy about it. Again, I had said going into this weekend, man, I really hope that we get the rollover from the Hall of Fame game to this weekend. I hope it continues the next 2 weeks of the preseason. I really do. I hope it continues. I really do. I mean, the Broncos came out firing on all cylinders, offense and defense. The Falcons, yes, it was against the Falcons. You're going to have questions at that quarterback position. Is it going to be Tua? Is it going to be Michael Penix Jr.? I think it's going to be Tua. But you have a lot of questions there in Atlanta. So these preseason games are mainly for us to watch, players coming back and watch our rookies, watch younger guys. And again, that's why I bring up Joe Milton. I was a big fan of Joe Milton last year. And yes, I honestly think with the right team, the right fit, you can build an absolute team around Joe Milton. I really think so. And then watching the Cardinals, Carson Beck. Good morning, Quest. Seeing what's going on with Arizona. I'm really, really liking that wide receiver, that rookie wide receiver. I think his name is Reggie Vele, something like that. He's going to be a threat for the Cardinals, which is really good. The Cardinals do need that. You need, if you're a Cardinals fan, you need Marvin Harrison Jr. to finally step up and be the wide receiver he was at Ohio State. You need that to roll over. Do I think there could be quarterback competition in Arizona? I absolutely believe there will be. So there's a difference from playing against a starting defense and second and third stringer. I agree, Isaac, 100%. That's why I said in a right environment, right? You got to think, right? A lot of these backup quarterbacks that everybody's like, oh, they're playing second and third string defense. They're a concussion away. They're a bad field away from being out on that field. They are, right? 100% are. all these players, all these backups are one play away from being thrown into the starting position, being thrown into being out there with on the field. So you got to remember it that way, especially in modern day NFL that we have, with how many injuries we have, how many players already, even through the preseason, have been hurt and are out the rest of the year. Even in training camp, hurt out the rest of the year. Look at Arizona. Love, their running back. He sprained his ankle. He's out till week 1 of the regular season. He's not going to play any more of the preseason. So you don't know when you are going to be thrown out there to be a starter. You don't know. It's the same thing on the defense. You don't know when a linebacker, a cornerback, or somebody like that's going to go down and you're out there on the field. So, what's going on? So, when you look at it, I look at it this way. I get it. You're playing against second stringers. You're playing against third stringers. But it's still field time that you get to get into the flow of the game. They may be second or third stringers, guys, but they're doing one thing that I'm not doing, and that's playing in the NFL. I'm sitting here in a chair talking about the NFL. I'm not out there playing. What's up, Matthew? I'm not playing it. I didn't make it. They did. So they're on an NFL team for a reason. I'm not. And that's the way I look at it. When you look at the Rams with Ty Simpson, Matthew Stafford, he's getting up there in quarterback years in the NFL. I get it. The Rams are trying to build everything around him to get him one more Super Bowl to retire. And Ty Simpson could be the future of the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know if we're going to get Taysom Hill. I keep hearing the rumors that Denver could go after him. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the Broncos are going to do. You got to remember, we're going to get, after this weekend of games, you got to have to start cuts. And then you got the week 3 cuts, and then you got the week before where you have to build your roster.
I don't think Saints would get rid of Taysom Hill.
I don't know what's going to happen. And if you bring in Taysom Hill, you're going to bring him in as a tight end? You're going to bring him in as a go-to guy? Taysom Hill's been in the NFL many a years. So, I've been a Broncos fan since 1988. So,
ARMCHAIR. I'm starting my own podcast.
You're starting your own podcast, Steve? Awesome.
Well, you already did.
I jumped in with a group of guys and doing my own thing.
That's good to hear, D. That's good to hear.
And don't worry, we're about to stop having a line back and forth.
Shut up.
Oh, man, that's a great question in Cleveland. What are they going to do at the quarterback position? I'm sorry. I still feel that Deshaun Watson's going to be week 1 starter. You're not paying that kind of money for, I guess, a healthy player to sit on the bench. You're not doing it. You're absolutely not doing it. You are not paying that much money, over $40 million, for Deshaun Watson just to sit on the bench. If he's good to go, he's good to go. He's going. That's just how it's going to be. The new head coach there in Cleveland knew taking that job, he was coming into a nightmare. When that job position opened up for the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, whoever interviewed for that job had to know they were walking into an absolute mess in the quarterback room. They had to know it. 100% had to know it. They also had to walk into that room knowing that the owner of that team is the one who made the Deshaun Watson trade. Also knowing that Deshaun Watson is making over $40 million on the cap this year and is going to be your day 1 starter. So, you had to know that going into that job. You had to know that what was going on. I mean, the Giants, they look really good. Jackson Dart looked good with that team. So, it was, like I said, in my opinion, it was a great week of football. I get it. it's preseason, but number one, it's football. Number two, you get to see the younger guys. And number three, there really wasn't a game, in my opinion, that was a snooze fest. They all were entertaining.
Armchair, what do you think of the Broncos' performance?
The Broncos did great. I saw online a bunch of Bronco fans that I follow, like, well, where was this guy during the playoff game? He was going up against, he was just thrown in, weak preparation. It happens, right, with Jared Stidham.
Who was throwing ham sandwiches?
So, but the Broncos played a lot of first-team starters on offense and defense. Our running backs look good. Our rookie running back looked really good. Our second-year running back looked really good. Wide receivers played great. So the Seahawks-Cowboys was a snooze fest. I didn't think so. I thought the Seahawks-Cowboys game was really entertaining. I really did. I thought it was a very entertaining game. I really thought it was an entertaining game. Of course, I watched that game because my son-in-law's a Seahawks fan. Can't really tell how teams look until regular season when players go against real players. I get that. I get that 100%. We're having backups against backups, some first stringers versus first stringers, second stringers, third stringers. That's all that's great. But remember, they're in the NFL for a reason.
Yeah, I was about to say, what do you mean real players? They're all players.
What's up, Bryce?
They're going for their 53-man roster. They're all players. They're all real. They're not fake. It's crazy.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
What's up?
The preseason sets the tone for the season. How you play in the preseason does not matter. How you play in the preseason will affect how you play in the season. So if you're shitting bricks in the preseason, you're most likely going to be shitting bricks in the season.
I mean, you can look at it that way, or you can look at it from a different perspective, right? I'm not going to say you're wrong or right. I'm going to look at it from a different perspective. As a head coach, right, I have to know who my backups are. Number one, I got to figure out how I'm going to set my 53-man roster, how I'm going to set my practice squad. That's what I'm looking at. But I got to know how my backups are. I got to know if my starting quarterback goes down, can I throw my backup in there with no problem? No, there is no transition period. The guy knows the offense. The guy can run the offense. The guy can handle the pressure. The guy can handle the check with me. The guy can handle audibles, everything like that. He can read a defense. That's what I got to know as a head coach. Especially at the quarterback position, because we all know the quarterback rules the offense. That's number one. Can my backup quarterback step in with no problem? Number two, how am I looking in the running game? Are my number two and number three running backs, especially if I'm running a two-back system, are they able to take pressure off of my starter so I don't get him hurt or I don't tire him out as the season goes on? Can they read a defense? Are they going to, this was the problem with Denver last year, was our backup running backs always like to bounce to the outside. They didn't want to try to go to the hole. They would get to the line and bounce to the outside, which negated a lot of yardage they could have gained. So I've got to look at that. I've got to see where I can move pieces. And then on top of that, especially in the preseason, making my roster and my practice squad, are there other players in this league that could get cut that I think could be a good fit on my team, good fit on my practice squad, right? Because at this point, you can bring in players on your practice squad and you don't got to play them right away. You don't have that until the regular season. So you got to look at it that way, you especially as a head coach. You're looking at what is going on. And also the preseason is a test. How strong is my kicker's leg? Kicking in practice and warm-ups is a lot different than kicking during a game.
Losing. You need to happy with the other team doing.
I mean, what little for the Jaguars kicked, what, a 73-yard field goal in preseason last year? Set the preseason record?
7-0.
And they kicked, what, a 71-yarder in the regular season and broke the record?
No, he kicked a 70 in preseason, a 68 outdoor, and a 68 indoor.
Thank you. But he broke the record.
Yeah, he broke the record.
And both footballs are in the Hall of Fame. The preseason and the regular season footballs are in the Hall of Fame.
That's cool.
Even though the preseason does not count for the record, the NFL is weird. Anything you do in the preseason does not count against your stats or records. It's the same thing for postseason. Postseason, your stats do not count against your regular season stats. None of those count towards your season stats. That's why they say you have 17 games to break the rushing record, 17 games to break the passing record, 17 games to break the receiving record. Because everything after the regular season does not go against your stat line. Same thing in the preseason. So you could throw 100 interceptions in the preseason and it won't matter on your stats because it doesn't exist. It's the same thing for the postseason. All of C.J. Stroud's postseason records or postseason stats, same thing with other players, and I'm forgetting the one I want to talk about. They don't matter. They don't matter. Those stats in the postseason do not go against your regular season stats. They don't. That's just how it is. Just how the NFL is. And that's okay. It's been like that the entire time. But looking at what is going on in the preseason, you don't just want to pay attention to your favorite team. You want to pay attention to other teams because there could be a player on another team that could end up on your team and could actually end up as a starter on your team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the preseason is designed for. It's not only for players to get back into game play mode. Why do you think the Bengals are now finally playing their starters in the preseason? How many years has it been that the Bengals start off so slow and then they catch fire and are really good? It's because none of their starters played in the preseason. They weren't used to game speed. Game speed is not practice speed. And yes, regular season speed is not preseason speed. I understand that. But preseason speed is a lot different than practice speed. And you need that. You need that to get prepared. So, again, I'm very happy that these games were entertaining. I'm very happy that we got to see a lot of rookies, a lot of interesting play. You got to see new head coaches. You got to see the Hernandez, the number 1 overall draft pick in Vegas with a new head coach. Carson Beck in Arizona with a new head coach. It's great to see this, right? And so, again, there's going to be quarterback competitions. I believe there is. I think there's going to be one in Arizona. There's going to be one in Atlanta. Miami came out, looked pretty good. I get it, they lost, but they came out looking pretty good, right? You just went and got a new quarterback, a new head coach, right? You just went and got Malik Willis. He was in for a drive, 4 or 5, 43 yards. In for a drive. You got, Quinn Ewers, you drafted him last year. So, it's great to see these things. It really is.
Armchair question for you.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about Von Miller going to Dallas?
I'm absolutely okay with it. I did not want Von Miller back with the Broncos. And let me explain. Von Miller has been in the NFL a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're not going to get a 90% snap player with him. You're not. You're absolutely not. You're most likely going to get a 20 or 30% snap player with him.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to remember, that is you've only got 53 players that you can have. And you can only dress 46 or 48 of them for the game. So, do I want to waste a roster spot and a game day spot on a guy that's going to play 20 to 30% of the defensive snaps? Or do I want to save that spot for a guy that is either a backup or is going to play 60 to 70% of the snaps on the defense? I'm going to go with option B. I get it. You're bringing in a guy who's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, a 7-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, has 138.5 sacks in his career. I get all of that. You're also bringing in my opinion for Dallas and why this works, you're bringing in a veteran perspective. You're bringing in a veteran that can help younger guys. You're also bringing in a veteran on a defense that was ranked around one of the worst in the NFL last year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're bringing in somebody that can help your young guys. You're bringing in somebody that can help your locker room. And yeah, you could get a couple good plays out of him a game. I understand that, and that's great. Dallas needs that. Dallas needs that presence, especially in the defense. We all know that their offense was great.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think Von Miller's going to see the ball though over there.
Again, you're bringing somebody in that is most likely going to play 4 or 5 snaps per game, a game, and I'm pretty sure they're going to use him mainly on third down and longs, or even fourth downs. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do.
That's fair.
Hey guys, if you could do me a favor, please share this live out. I just got hit with that live is restricted due to unoriginal content again. So if you guys could please hit that like and share button, I would greatly appreciate it. I do not know why I keep getting these unoriginal content violations. I was doing pretty good there, and then it started happening to me last week. So I would greatly appreciate that. I really would. I don't get what's unoriginal about it. I'm the most unoriginal person that you will come across on here.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. We played one starter, and he got injured.
And that is the risk that you're going at, right? That is the risk as well. You want your starters to play, but then you've got that man, like I was saying before, you're one play away from, having to have a backup in. Look at the Cardinals, right? Jeremiah Love has a high ankle sprain now, or ankle sprain, and it's going to be out to the first week of the regular season, or possibly the second week. And Love is supposed to be their number one running back. But he did not play the Hall of Fame game, but he played this past weekend and got hurt. So you got to weigh it, right? You got to weigh it. I need to get my guys experience, game time experience against one play and they're done. One play and they could be out for the entire season. And again, as a head coach, you are constrained by the CBA, which leads to this.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it was. He got injured on the very first play of the game.
So you've got to remember, right? As a head coach, you are constrained by what the CBA allows you to do. You're constrained by it. But also as a head coach, you've got to build a team to win a Super Bowl. And then you've also got to keep in the back of your mind, I'm one play away, one bad move on certain fields in the NFL away from losing a starter.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have to weigh all of this. So you're trying to get as many guys game experience as possible. And you remember, the preseason is shortened. One point in time, it was 6 games, then it went to 5 games, and we were at 4 games for the longest time. Now we're at 3, and they're wanting to move it to 2. The Hall of Fame game and 2 weeks. They're wanting to constrain the preseason more to the Hall of Fame game, which is a game all by itself, which does not count against the preseason, and then 2 weeks of preseason football, and then a week off, and start the regular season to go to an 18-game schedule. That's what they're wanting to do. They want to do this by 2030. So coaches are getting, your player evaluation timeline is getting shortened and shortened and shortened, and the constrictions on what you can do in mini camp, training camp, and all of that are getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So a head coach is really constrained a lot on what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why you're going to see a lot more backups. Because, again, you got to build the roster. The week before the season starts, you have to knock your roster from 90 down to 53. Because you got week 3 of the preseason, then you have a bye week, and then the start of the regular season in September. So,
Armchair, I was watching the Chiefs game against the Rams. I'm so happy that Patrick Mahomes held up well. And is going to be under center week 1. But us with Justin Fields, we wouldn't have had a chance.
So, I want Patrick Mahomes to be ready to go. Let me rephrase that. I want every player that was hurt last year ready to go. I want them ready to go by week 1. George Kittle, Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix, all these key players. I want them ready. I want teams to be 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy, I want them all at 100% week 1. Because I don't want any excuses. Denver plays Kansas City week 1 on Monday night. If Mahomes is not able to go, what is everybody going to say if Denver won? Well, they only won because Patrick Mahomes was hurt. I don't want no excuses. None. You win, you lose, you win kind of deal, right?
Right.
I want to go into this game knowing we're 100%, they're 100%. I want the 49ers to go in to their game in Australia against the Rams, 100% versus 100%. I love clean football. I love football where everybody is healthy. Because I may be a Broncos fan, but I love watching any game that I can. I do. I love watching any game that I can. I am a Broncos fan, but I am a football connoisseur, if that makes sense. I love the game of football. I watch as many games as I can because I like to make a mental scouting sheet in my head when I watch other games because you don't play the same team every week, so your favorite team is going to eventually end up playing one of these other teams that you can watch. And I like to do that because I can kind of mentally scout it in my head as a coach. We go like, okay, this is what they've got. The Broncos have to do against this defense. This is what the defense has to do against that offense. What personnel plays better? Is this more of a run-friendly defense that you can gain yardage on? Do they got a stout defensive line but not a really good defensive backfield, so you want to open up the passing game a little bit more? That's why I like watching these games. And again, I just love watching football. I just love watching football. And so, and every team, all 32 teams have got one goal, and that's to be hosting a Lombardi Trophy. And again, this year, the NFL decided, we're going to do it on Valentine's Day. How many divorces can we cause in a night?
I don't have to worry about that because I don't have a Valentine.
So, I mean, the wonderful thing about right now in the NFL is as NFL fans, I should say, we're all speculating. Every single one of us in any kind of podcast room, any kind of format, guys that get paid millions of dollars to be on ESPN, CBS, all of that. Everybody is speculating right now. Nobody has a clear path of knowledge of how this season's going to be. Again, I think this could be another wide open year for the Super Bowl like last year. Going into last season, I had stated that it was the first time in many a years. What's going on, A-Train? First time in many a years that I went into the season going, I don't know who the clear front runner is for the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody expected the Colts to start, 8-1, 9-1? Nobody expected that. And Bryce, I love you, brother. You know I love me some sunshine, but nobody thought the Jaguars were going to do that good.
Yeah.
New head coach, new scheme, everything like that. Nobody thought that. And that's what I love about football. That's what I love about it. Especially at this time of year, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who the front runner is. A lot of people say it's Seattle. I don't. And I'm not saying that just to mess with my son-in-law. I'm not. In that division, the NFC West, you have 3 front runners. The Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. Now, again, it all depends on if they can stay healthy. That's why I want...
The Niners.
Yes, clean, healthy football. The Niners, if the 49ers can stay healthy, and that is a big if, they do have a chance of going deep into the playoffs.
You got Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle, and CMC, which are all injury prone.
Exactly. That's why I said the big, I'm going to go find me a balloon or something with the word if. So we can have the representation of the big if in here. Because that is the key factor. I mean, according to last year, right? And this is what's funny. Everybody said that the Patriots were only in the Super Bowl because they had the easiest schedule, and that's why they were in the playoffs, and then they played teams that were absolutely decimated with injury, which they did. But if we go off of that mindset, right? If we go off of the mindset, well, the only reason why the Patriots were there was they had the easiest schedule, then that means that this year the Cleveland Browns are making it to the Super Bowl. Because Cleveland Browns have the easiest schedule in the NFL this year. Now, again, you all know my stance when it comes to strength of schedule. It means absolutely nothing because all you're doing is going off of the win-loss record of teams you're playing this year from last year. And the teams last year are not the same as the teams this year, and the teams this year are definitely not the same as last year. So... And so if we're going to go off of that mindset, we all should be happy that the Cleveland Browns are going to finally make it to a Super Bowl. Right? I mean, would I love to see the Browns in the Super Bowl? You better believe it. A team that won 6 or 8 NFL championships, but when the NFL merged with the AFL, they have not been to the Super Bowl. So...
I want the Broncos to get one.
I have seen the Broncos go to Super Bowls, lose Super Bowls, and win Super Bowls. I've seen all 3 of their wins, and I have seen almost all of their losses. So I've seen it, and it hurts.
You know?
It hurts the heart.
Just, to the AFC Championship game. Actually got one loss against the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, that one was horrible. That one. And see, I'm glad you brought that up because that brings up a good reason on why you want to be a more balanced and a balanced team, offense and defense. Because going into that Super Bowl, the Broncos had the number 1 offense and one of the worst defenses in the NFL going up against the Legion of Boom. and going up against a pretty good offense. In that Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks were a well-rounded team. They had Marshawn Lynch, Beast Mode. They had the Legion of Boom. And at that time, Russell Wilson was still a young guy that listened to his coach. He wasn't full of himself. Now you go on to the next year, he got the I'm a Super Bowl winning quarterback and decided to throw the ball on the 2-yard line when you got Beast Mode behind you and you lose the Super Bowl to Tom Brady. And I will say that is the longest, minute and a half in the NFL I've ever seen in my life. That minute and a half seemed like it lasted an hour. So,
you guys talk about Von Miller going to the Cowboys?
We've been talking about him, and I think it's a good move for Dallas. I do. I think it's a good move because you are bringing in veteran experience for a defense that was ranked one of the worst defenses in the NFL last year. Again, you had at one point in time, you had the number one offense in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys did. They had a great running game, great passing game. Dak Prescott was playing amazing. He was really holding on to that football, not turning it over, but their defense let them down. So,
Oh my God.
What's up, Snaps?
Hey, what's up?
So, Von Miller going to Dallas, in my opinion, you're bringing in a guy, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 7-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler. You're bringing in a guy for experience and a good locker room presence for your young guys. Do not expect Von Miller to be an every down player. He's not going to be, not at his age. Expect Von Miller to play probably 20 to 30% of the snaps on defense. And mainly it's going to be for 3rd down and 4th down.
They say they're going to bring him out on a lot of blitzes, too.
And I think it's a good move. I really do. I think it's a good move. Again, you're bringing in somebody that can help your younger guys. You're bringing in a good veteran presence. So,
Yeah, they,
will it work?
But it's Jerry fucking Jones. You don't know what to do with these pieces.
Well, we're talking about Jerry Jones, right? And that's the key problem with Dallas. Okay? Dallas, I tell you, Brian Schottenheimer really shocked me last year. He really did. I was very worried about Brian Schottenheimer. He'd only been an offensive coordinator a couple years, I think. And I was really shocked at what he did with that offense. But everything great he did for that offense, he let down the defense. But then you got to think about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones thinks that everything that happens on the field is because of him. Love him or hate him, Jerry Jones has done a lot of positive things for the NFL. He has done negative things, but he has done a lot of positive things in the NFL. So, I still think Dallas can win that division. I think the Eagles have an identity crisis. The Giants, they're really young. Whole brand new coaching staff, brand new head coach, players coming off the injuries. I think that the Giants are going to be better. I do.
PJ Law went to the Cowboys too, huh?
What's that?
PJ Law, didn't he go to the Cowboys? Who? From the
Yes,
Broncos.
PJ Locke. Yes, he went to the Cowboys.
Sure did.
And the Commanders, right? The Commanders have a lot of veteran players.
Oh,
And then we don't know how Jaden Daniels is going to be coming back off of those injuries.
hey, can we talk about Jane Daniels for a sec? I think we need to chill.
What's up? What is your opinion on Jaden Daniels?
The memes that have been coming out about him doing that cease and desist.
Oh, you're talking about his he wants his Heisman back and all that.
Yeah, I saw one. It was like Jaden Daniels sends seats and assists to stop Mambo number 5.
Well, they want him because he wanted them to retire his number, and they said no.
Yeah, they promised it to that new quarterback recruit a long time ago that he could have number 5. It's so funny. But a lot of players do that. It's either they'll give it to you or they won't. It just depends.
Well, my sleeper team this year to watch out for.
I think it's the Cowboys, to be honest. I still think it's the Giants. It could be the Cowboys. If that defense got better.
Well, I can't say my sleeper team is Dallas if I have them winning the division.
Oh, okay. So you have them winning the division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Okay, let's see who could be. I think the Giants is my sleeper team. Yeah, I could be the Giants. I could see that. The sleeper. Let's see.
Now, we talk about here we go. Let's break this down. A sleeper team to make it to the playoffs or a sleeper team to be a disruptor?
Someone else is going to give you half. Team that just fights and fights.
Okay, sleeper team to make the playoffs. My sleeper team to make the playoffs is the New Orleans Saints.
What about the Vikings?
No.
No? I think the Dolphins. I know I have to see how that even looks. I've only watched the
I'm good with Von Miller going to the Cowboys.
Disruptor, I think the Browns could be a disruptor.
I think the Cardinals can be a disruptor.
Cardinals and the Browns are like hard fought teams. Like them two, I like them too, to be honest.
A lot of people believe that the Titans are going to be in the playoffs this year. I've seen that in a lot of places. That they have the Titans going to the playoffs. I've even seen people saying that the Titans are going to win that division. Yes, I do think the Raiders will get at least 6 wins.
Who's in that division?
You got the Titans, the Texans, the Colts, and the Jaguars.
What do you think, Bryce?
A lot of people, Bryce and I were talking about this last week, and I don't understand it because they're going off of old history. But a lot of people have the Jaguars dropping from 1st to 4th. I'm not one of them. Because they're going off of the old history of the Jaguars having a good year, then a bad year, a good year, and a bad year, a good year, and a bad year.
That is true, though. They do it does happen like that. Yeah, and how many head coaches and offensive coordinators has Trevor?
Thank you. I was literally going to bring that up, Bryce. How many years did the Jaguars consistently change head coaches, coordinators? Now, Sunshine has got consistency.
How long does he have the same coach? This be his second year.
Yeah, it'll finally be an actual consistency.
Nice. Yeah, that is a big. We didn't get no offensive coordinator though.
I think that Travis Hunter is a better cornerback and can be used sparingly as a wide receiver.
Yeah, people need to stop hating on him, dude. I've seen all these posts of people saying he's washed because of his scrimmage game that he had, and a lot of it was burning him. And it's like he was going for the interception. He wasn't going for the pass incompletion.
Of course he's going for the interception.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
he
it's
should
just
be playing
like
zone and playing man coverage.
Leave him alone.
That's always going. He's going to be what he's going to be a wannabe Trayvon Diggs. Watch.
I think I have said this last year, and Bryce was here when I said it, that they cannot play him as a dual position player constantly.
No, he's going to get injured again.
So more as a corner, and then every once in a while as a wide receiver.
Because we don't need him at on the offensive side. We have BTJ, Parker Washington, Brendan Strange, Jacoby Myers. We don't need him on that side of the ball.
No, you don't.
So Aaron Darnold had his second workout with the Rams. There hasn't been anything decided if they're going to bring him in or not. I think they might. And again, Aaron Darnold hasn't been on the Rams for what, a year or two?
2 years.
2 years. Okay, that's not a lot of time away from the NFL, especially if anybody's been following Aaron Donald, who keeps up his absolutely bonkers training regimen.
Yeah, Aaron Donald will be back. Armchair.
I believe he will. 100% do. And again, look at Aaron Darnold as the Von Miller scenario. Aaron Darnold is not going to be out there every single play. And then think about it this way. You brought in Myles Garrett. On third down, you have Myles Garrett and Aaron Darnold. Tell me who you're going to double team.
You can't because
You can't double team them both.
on the other side you have Byron Young.
Exactly. So who are you? You only got 5 offensive linemen and a chip at the tight end. Who are you double teaming? So if you look at it in that perspective, again, I still personally feel the Rams are doing everything they can to get Matthew Stafford another Super Bowl. Let me pull up something here real quick on Matthew Stafford.
And those are pretty good, huh?
Okay, so Matthew Stafford is in the first year of his 3-year contract, so to say. Okay? But he's 38 years old. Now, that may not seem old, which it's not, but in football years, that's a lot older. You know how we say dog years and stuff like that? In football years for a quarterback, 38 is pretty old. Yeah, we've seen quarterbacks play into their 40s, but their performance has dropped, and then you got to think in all the injuries Matthew Stafford has had and everything like that. So, if Matthew Stafford were to retire, say the Rams win the Super Bowl, this is big hypothetical, so don't yell at me. If the Rams, again, I'm getting that balloon that says if, so I could just pull it out. If the Rams were to win Super Bowl 61 and Matthew Stafford were to retire, the Rams financially will be great. It won't hurt them at all. Because again,
Tyson looked really good. Again, I know it's preseason, but man, he was.
Ty Simpson, right. And you got to remember,
Yeah.
Ty Simpson played for Alabama. He went to a team that, in my opinion, Sean McVay is one of, if not the best, quarterback head coaches in the NFL.
Well, I'm sure. If Stafford's retired, Adams will retire too.
Who will?
Devontae.
Devontae Adams. Yeah, that's a possibility. Now, the key thing with the Rams is they got to get a handle on Puka Nacua and everything going on with him. So, but, again, I think remember when the Rams won the Super Bowl, everybody was complaining about them giving up all them draft picks for Stafford, this and that, but yet they won the Super Bowl that year. Doesn't it kind of seem like the Rams again are going all out to get Stafford a Super Bowl? That's the way it looks to me.
Well, I'm sure that's what they're doing. I guarantee you, if they don't win a Super Bowl, they won't be really the next. I mean, it'll be so hard for them to compete with no draft pick.
I'm trying to bring you up, but it says you canceled the request.
I mean, I think if the Rams don't retain Puka Nacua, that's going to be the downfall of their team.
But there's a big if. Put your balloon up, Armchair.
I got to get the balloon first.
Stafford's back is healthy.
Yeah, it keeps telling me something went wrong every time I try to bring you up.
it wouldn't like this is a weird scenario, but knowing that Stafford has a back injury and he's still playing through it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How crazy would it be for them to make it to the bowl and then Ty Simpson be thrown in? Get Stafford being injured.
I don't get that. It says minimum number of guests. What? I tell you guys.
You got 2 spots open.
I know. Tickety Talk is having some problems, and I don't understand it. What is my opinion on Mendoza? Mendoza's going to sit.
Yeah, he's not playing.
Mendoza's going to sit. He's going to sit, and Kirk Cousins is going to be starter.
I think he meant just long term.
Oh, long term. Well, this is kind of hard, right? If Mendoza was going to a team that had a head coach who we had a definitive record for as a head coach, we would have a better understanding for it. But since the Raiders have a rookie head coach who's never been a head coach, it's harder to say how it's going to go long term. So, this is said to Josh as a.
Well, just like I'd say,
The
just
rookie
like
RB in
with the
Seattle,
Chicago Bears,
Kadarian Price, right?
they fired Eberflus quick for Caleb Williams' career because they know you don't have
Correct,
to have
Kadarian
it.
Price.
Yeah, I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year.
No, I doubt that.
Why do you say that?
Because it's going to be too much for him because he's taking all those carries in Seattle. And
Well, on the other side, you have Jeremiah Love doing the same thing.
no, but that's not what Jeremiah Love's doing. He's splitting carries with Algier.
Right. Jeremiah Love, yes, is most likely going to be running back 1 or 2, but in Arizona, they're going to run a dual back system.
What about James Conner?
Connor's got to get healthy.
Oh, is he
He's
still
got to
injured?
get healthy, but
Guys, it's not. I know it says I have 2 openings, but it's not letting me bring anybody else up.
Do you think maybe it's because you got flagged earlier?
Well, all that was that it doesn't push you. When it tells you that you are unoriginal content, it doesn't put you on the For You page.
Gotcha.
That's why I asked everybody to share it. When you get that, when you get that unoriginal content flag, what I'm probably gonna have to do when I get done with this is completely log out of the TikTok studio and then log completely back in. That's what I had to do the last time this scenario happened with everybody.
Okay, BT, you say that Jadarian Price is going to take all the carries, but Charbonnet is supposed to come back, week 6 or something like that?
no, he won't be back till week 10.
Yeah, Charbonnet. It's going to be a minute for Charbonnet.
Number running back.
And then you also got to
They're back with
remember
Emmanuel Wilson.
the position that he's in at running back, coming back from an ACL injury. It's a lot different than like Mahomes as a quarterback. I remember when an ACL injury used to be, the end of a career for a running back.
I still say it. It's still considered one of those injuries. Like,
Well, there's a key factor here. How bad was the tear? Did it damage your PCL, your MCL, all of that, right?
yeah.
Who do I think has the best wide receiver core? Wow. I mean, Dallas has got a good one. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. Denver's got one.
Bengals.
It's Minnesota armchair.
Okay, outside of Justin Jefferson, though.
Jordan
Addison?
Addison and Jawan Jennings.
And Jordan Jennings.
Because you're talking about a trio, right? You're not talking about a duo.
Very true, and that's an all-around core. Now the problem is who I got throwing them the football, but that's nor here nor there. That has nothing to do with them,
And then
Yeah.
you also have the Bengals.
right?
Yeah,
The
but they-
Bengals. Yeah, okay, but hold on. The Bengals have supposedly had the best wide receiver core for years now, and what have they really shown for it?
They
Not
mostly
the QB.
Yeah, but the Bengals receiving core is mostly T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
I don't know. Yosevich makes quite a few catches on that team.
Right. I get that though. I'm not disagreeing with that statement. I'm not being decisive here. I'm not going to disagree with it, but I'm saying, what have they done? After they both got those two huge contracts, what have they done? And I get it. Burrow's been injured. 5 out of the last 6 seasons?
Yeah.
Which is absolutely mind-boggling. Knowing that your starting quarterback has been hurt the last 5 out of 6 seasons. Your starting quarterback has not played a full season in 5 out of 6 years. And the 1 year that he did, you still didn't make it to the playoffs.
Well, if you want to say the Bengals have the best wide receiver core, can you name me their wide receiver 3?
I just did.
Who?
Yosevich, the number 80. For 80.
Yeah.
Now, are we going to throw in tight ends
I'll give you
part of the
that.
wide receiver core, or do you guys not count tight ends?
It depends if
I
they're
mean-
tight end strong offense.
He
True.
could, but then Minnesota also has another tall tight end,
Dude,
T.J.
Hawkinson didn't do
Hawkinson.
Jack Diddley last year.
I mean, you all know who my favorite tight end is, so that's Trey McBride. I think he's the best tight end in the NFL.
Hands
Brendan
down, I
Strange
don't.
is going to be top 5 this year.
Hey, if Strange can stay healthy, Strange is going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
I think what's his name? Isaiah Likely could be a problem this year.
Hopefully.
If I tell you what, really, Bryce, this is not to glaze you or anything, but personally, I feel if Strange played in that postseason game against the Bills, the Jaguars win.
Yeah.
100%. If Strange, their tight end for the Jaguars, played in that postseason game, I don't think the Bills win that game.
Well, because we had Hunter Long in, and he had a couple drop passes that were right to him. Kind of sad. He's our backup.
Another good one is Brock Bowers, but he's on the younger side. He's only played a couple years. But
Forget the rookie from last year, Tyler Warren. That dude's a beast.
for Indiana or Indianapolis, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like Colson Loveland more than I do Tyler Warren.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people like Loveland.
Well, Colson Loveland has a better connection with his QB than Tyler Warren had with his.
Bowers is cold.
Here's the interesting thing when it comes to Brock Bowers, right? Now you have a quarterback there in Vegas with Kirk Cousins. Is that going to up his game, right? I love Kirk Cousins. I do. I love him as a human being. I love him as a mentor. I love him as a great all-around team guy, and I think he's a really good quarterback. Yes, he's dealt with a lot of ankle injuries. I understand that. But for them to have him this year is a major upgrade to what the Raiders had last year at quarterback. And that is going to, now again, I don't think that the Raiders are going to be in the Super Bowl or anything, but I do think the Raiders are going to be better. I'm very interested in their rookie head coach. I love watching rookie head coaches, I really do. And How is a rookie head coach with a veteran quarterback and a second year, I believe he's a second year tight end, a second year running back?
Third year. He's going to third.
Is it his third year? No.
Yeah.
I could have swore their running back was a rookie last year. Yeah. The Raiders running back was a rookie last year.
Yeah, Ashton Jensen?
Yeah, Jinty was a rookie last year. This is his second year.
Yeah, he was a rookie.
And what is this going to do?
Yeah.
Having Kirk Cousins there could open up the field more for Jinty, because the biggest problem that the Raiders had last year, and I had called it out in like week 1 of the preseason, their interior offensive line was absolute trash. And Jinty had a problem of when he got the ball, he was already getting hit by the defense. Now, they did kind of shuffle that offensive line around a little bit. Hopefully it works out. And if you can have protection on Cousins that can sling the ball around, because we all know Kirk Cousins can sling the ball. The reason why I bring all that up is that's going to open up the running game for Jinty. So, but you got to look at it this way, okay? We all say the Cardinals have no chance. We're all going to say the Cardinals have no chance because they play in the division with the 49ers, the Rams, and the Seahawks.
And the schedule's hard.
And you got to look at it for the Raiders. They play in the division with the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs. You're playing against 3 Hall of Fame head coaches in the AFC West. And in my opinion, you're playing against 3 Hall of Fame head coaches. Well, 2 to be for sure in the NFC West. I think Kyle Shanahan and Matt LaFleur are going to be Hall of Fame head coaches. Or not Matt LaFleur, but Sean McVay are going to be Hall of Fame head coaches when they retire. I do. For what Kyle Shanahan did with the 49ers and the complete turnaround, especially going to a Super Bowl with a second-year quarterback, almost making it to a Super Bowl with a rookie Mr. Irrelevant draft pick quarterback, Sean McVay, doing what he did with Matthew Stafford. I really think, and not only doing what he did with Matthew Stafford, but with Baker Mayfield, right? Baker Mayfield's career was on a down slope. Was kicked out of Cleveland, went to Carolina where they had him practicing on the defense, went to LA, was with McVay, and now look what he's doing for Tampa Bay.
I mean, also go look what he did with Jared Goff.
Look at what? I didn't catch that last part.
Look what he did with Jared Goff.
Exactly.
Super Bowl.
Exactly. So, when you look at the AFC West, that is a very tough division. You know, we actually had a conversation about this in our podcast the other day about the 2 toughest divisions, you know, one the AFC, one the NFC. And the common consensus was that the AFC West and the NFC West are the 2 toughest divisions in the NFL, you know, AFC and NFC. And you've got 3 Hall of Fame head coaches in the AFC West. You've got 2 Super Bowl winning head coaches in the AFC West. Now, when you look at the Chargers can be an absolute dominant team, but again, the invisible if balloon comes up if they stay healthy. They got a good defense, right? They got a very good defense in San Diego, and I keep calling it San Diego, with the Chargers. It is going to be so hard for me to never say the San Diego Chargers. It really is. They've been out of San Diego now for a while, but I still call them the San Diego Chargers.
I still call them Redskins.
I call the Redskins all the time. All the time.
Like the Redskins.
But when you look at the Chargers, I really think bringing in Mike McDaniels is going to help Justin Herbert. A lot. But Justin
agree.
Herbert's got to stay healthy. Let me
Here's my
rephrase
thing,
that. That offensive line has to stay healthy.
Here's my
100%.
thing. I love how they brought Mike McDaniel, but then they also lose Jesse Minter, who completely revamped that defense and turned them into an elite defense. That's what I'm worried about. How is that defense going to look now?
That is a very good question. Losing your defensive coordinator. Okay, let's look at it this way. I have seen teams who've had good defenses lose the defensive coordinators and they just kept going on. And I have seen teams that have lost it. So it's 50-50, right? But even if if their defense slacks off just a little bit, but you can get more out of that offense, then you're at a point in time, you're at a really helps your team, right? That offensive line was absolutely decimated last year. I've been doing pretty good. Lately.
Yeah, it was.
So,
Do you think them losing Keenan Allen is gonna be a struggle or no?
it could be. I'm very interested to see what the Chargers do on offense this year. I am. Again, new offensive coordinator. Are we going to open it up a little bit more? Are we going to open up that playbook a little bit more? Is that offensive line going to be able to protect Justin Herbert? That is the key component to the entire Chargers season. When you look at teams, you can pretty much nail down what their team needs to do to be successful. And with the Chargers, that offensive line has got to stay healthy.
I've heard that Rashawn Slater is already dealing with injury problems in training camp already.
See, again, this is where I blame the CBA, and I will continue to blame the CBA for all of this. You can trace all of the injury or the spikes in injuries back to when the NFL signed this new CBA. The Chiefs' first preseason game, it was a game, right? It was pretty, it was okay. I get it. You lost to the Rams, but again, it doesn't matter.
It's preseason.
Mahomes wasn't on the field at all, which doesn't surprise me. You got Nussmeier, who's a rookie quarterback, out there. He did pretty good, 13 and 19 for 98 yards. No touchdowns, but no interceptions. Justin Fields was 4 for 4, 41 yards, which means he most likely just did a drive. So,
did you hear the news, Armchair?
What?
Jamal Adams is out for the rest of the year.
That does not surprise me. Again, there were a bunch of injuries this preseason week, and it's going to continue. That's why I said watching other teams is very important, because you're going to see that, okay, maybe I need to go get this guy off that team or that guy off that team. But again, you're putting players on the field who are supposed to be keeping their bodies up to physical form during the post or the off season, because that's what they said. Oh, we're grown men. We can do this ourselves. Mm-hmm. Well, so far it's really not showing it.
I mean, Jackson Dart probably got another concussion, man. That hit was bad.
Oh, I saw that hit.
Yeah, because when he got hit, he was sleeping. He was sleeping for like a minute.
That was a brutal hit.
I don't know, man. The way he plays football, man, is not very smart, bro.
It's not. You're absolutely correct. And I literally was going to just bring that up.
I mean, armchair, like, you would think someone would learn after the first or second concussion to, like, calm down a little bit, right? You would think.
You would. You would. But
Thank God our quarterback's smart. Thank God our guy slides and shit.
Well, it's also because that hit happened because Brian Flores did a corner blitz.
yeah, he didn't have protection on the line. He didn't read the blitz. He didn't make an adjust. He did not make an adjustment call on the line to pick up the blitz.
To slide, right? To slide the protection to pick up that extra blitz.
Correct. He did. Number one, he didn't see the blitz. He didn't audible to cover the blitz, and the dude was a free runner, right?
You didn't even see it. It was there before you could even.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Like a truck.
And the deal is there are quarterbacks. I mean, there have been quarterbacks who look at Andrew Luck, so to say, right? His career was shortened because of injuries.
Injuries, yep.
He also took a lot of hard hits.
Well, that's what caused injuries. You know, they really didn't have a good protection scheme there. They also had a problem of shuffling through head coaches in Indianapolis at that time. So
you know what else too? They made the offensive line better when he left. It's just sad.
yeah, I remember that. They were like, where was this offensive line with Andrew Luck?
Yup. Because they got Quentin Nelson, remember? One of the best guards in the NFL.
Yeah.
Guy's a freaking beast, bro.
And
Game it.
the key takeaway of these games for preseason, it's not the scores. It's not, because scores don't mean anything. It's for us to see what these players are going to do. Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers played a combined 33 years, never missed a game. Why? Well, because when Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning played, the collective bargaining agreement was a lot different. It was a lot different. And yes, the collective bargaining agreement does come into play here because of the rules of when you come back to play off of a concussion or this or that, how you practice, how you do in training camp. It was all different. When Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning came into the NFL, that was the point in time we started to transition to where we are. So, I mean, look how long Brett Favre played. Look, and I'm just bringing it up. I know a lot of people were annoyed about it, but look how, we were always on Favre watch. Look how long Aaron Rodgers has played. Look how long Tom Brady played. Look how long, oh man.
Brees, right? Drew Brees?
Drew Brees played. Look how long, Dan Marino played, right? Everything is different.
It's tougher now.
Exactly, the NFL is softer. It is. And now I do like the new Guardian caps. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but I do like them. And I think that Harbaugh in New York is going to have to probably start making Jackson Dart wear one.
Yeah.
He has to, because if he doesn't...
There was a guy for the 49ers whose helmet is in the Hall of Fame because it was a double layer helmet. He had a double shell. I can't remember his name, but he had a double shell helmet because of the concussions he got. He played for the 49ers. Now you got the Guardian cap, and the new Guardian cap, in my opinion, is way better than last year's. Well, last year's just looked like a piece of cloth with some foam in it. This one, it's like I said, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it looks like they took the interior of the helmet and put it on the outside of the helmet. It's more of a thicker padding, in my opinion. And they're gonna, players like Jackson Dart, Harbaugh might have to step in and go, "You're wearing this."
I mean, I would hope so.
I would too. If you're a head coach, especially knowing that he's your starting quarterback, but in general, but being that he is your starting quarterback, you're going to want to do everything you can to protect that player, and especially protect him from himself.
My question is, I don't know, why did he play in the preseason?
Well, because he was injured last year, so you wanted to get him into, you wanted to get him some game speed in. Right? Same thing with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow played the preseason because you wanted game speed. And you got to remember, his injury wasn't like Bo Nix's with a broken ankle or Patrick Mahomes with a torn ACL. So you want to get them back into game form. But again,
didn't they say?
What's that?
Isn't Bo gonna play the next 2 games though?
If Bo plays the next 2 games, most likely this week, it'll be a drive.
Yeah, a drive. Yeah.
Next week will probably be a quarter, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. He might play a drive, which it's okay. You just want to get them back into the game feel, because it's like I was saying earlier, game play or game speed is different from practice. Preseason game speed is different from practice, and regular season game speed is different than preseason. How about they have a game every 2 weeks? Number one, that'll never happen, having a game every 2 weeks, because you wouldn't have no off season. You'd have absolutely no off season. You would have no time for your coaches to be prepared for the combine, the NFL draft. That's why if they extend it to 18, they're going backwards, not forward with time.
Well, don't forget the biggest one, though. You'll lose fan base.
Oh, absolutely. Look at it this way. Baseball starts in April, ends in October. There's 165, 166 games. How many baseball fans watch every single game for their favorite team?
Yeah, a lot.
I like the Red Sox, but if they don't make it to playing in October, I don't watch anything dealing with them.
Yeah.
And I just like the Red Sox because of the Curse of the Bambino story, right? So.
What'd y'all think of the best postseason comeback? Eh?
Which one?
We went into halftime down 14, came back and won it.
Who's your team?
The Jaguars.
He's a Jags fan. That's why we call his quarterback Sunshine. Sunshine.
What's up, Armchair?
What's up, War Chan? How's your day going, my brother?
Not bad. I got to roll back to something you were talking about a second ago, bro.
What you got, my brother?
So you mentioned that the reason why they were putting Joe Burrow and some of them into the game is probably to get them up to game speed. I have a different take on that with the Bengals themselves.
Okay.
I believe the reason why they played is because somebody's job is on the line. And if you look, historically, the Bengals start out very slow.
Yep, and I agree 100%. Their head coach's job is on the line this year. They don't make it to the playoffs, he's gone.
So I think he knows he's got to start out better than he has.
Yep.
And that's why they were playing, is he's trying to get them to the point where they will be more in-game mode than the other teams.
Yeah, because you're absolutely right. We actually talked about it like an hour ago about how the Bengals have been historically, the first 6 weeks of the year, you're like, what is going on with this team? They have been historically slow starting. And yes, I do believe their head coach's job is on the line. I'm not going to disagree with that. I think they missed the playoffs again. Because I really do think this is the year for the Bengals to win that division. You got what's going on in Pittsburgh. How is Aaron Rodgers going to do, especially with Mike McCarthy? You got a new head coach in Baltimore. Y'all know my opinion with Lamar Jackson. I still feel this is his last year in Baltimore. And then we have what we call the Brown Bowl of Cleveland. You got a new head coach, but you got an absolutely horrible quarterback room that you have no idea what's going on. And going into that job, you knew you were walking into that mess.
Agree.
So,
Hey, Armchair.
what?
Well, finish what you're gonna say, but I want you to read that last comment, and I want you to go into detail on it.
Jags wide receiver situation is a mess. All right, Bryce, take it away. Our Jaguar connoisseur is going to take this one.
How was our wide receiver situation a mess? We have Parker Washington coming back off an awesome year. We have Jacoby Myers, who turned our team around. And we have BTJ, whose connection with Trevor Lawrence is looking better and better every day they play together. So I think, honestly, we have one of the top 10 wide receiver cores in the league right now.
Jacoby Myers was an amazing trade for the Jaguars last year.
Heck yeah, because my brother's a Raiders fan.
That was an excellent move by the Jaguars.
When I seen that, I was like, oh, that's really.
And he's getting time
Yeah,
to
I'll
shoot
give you
now,
that.
too. He's got a good quarterback throwing
He
to
was a
him.
veteran, too. He was a vet.
Von Miller to the Cowboys again. I'm absolutely fine with it. I've said it since last year. I did not want him back with the Broncos.
I did, just to
I
Yeah,
don't
Dick,
want a
don't want
player
him
on that's going to eat up a roster
He's
spot
fine, bro.
that isn't going to play that much.
maybe he'll come back. What did he sign with the Cowboys?
That's only going to play 8 to 15 snaps.
So far, all I know is he's signed. I don't know the details of it yet, or at least I haven't been able to come across it. I just got the notification from Adam Schefter from Shefty that he signed on I got it on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. That's all I got. It doesn't say the length. I'm pretty sure it's only a year deal. Probably veteran minimum, which is going to be 1 point some odd million.
Maybe some incentives.
Yeah, exactly. Game time, game time incentives, sack incentives, stuff like that. You're bringing in Von Miller, like I was saying earlier, because everybody's bringing up this question, which I'm absolutely okay repeating myself. You're bringing in Von Miller for a couple of reasons. Number one, he had one of the worst defenses in the NFL last year. Number two, you got a lot of younger guys. Number three, you need a veteran in that locker room for the defense, a veteran that these guys can go to. Number four, you're bringing in a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 7-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, and a guy with 138.5 sacks. You're bringing in a leader. That's what you're doing. Somebody that can be a leader on that defense. Somebody that can help these younger guys going, hey, you see this in film, you see that in film, this is what you're looking for, that is what you're looking for. And yeah, you're probably going to get 8 snaps a game, 8 to 12 snaps a game with him, which is about 20 to 30%. Which, again, if you're only paying $1.9 million with incentives, it's no big deal. You're bringing him in on 3rd and 4th downs to be a disruptor. That's it. So, and by bringing in a player like that to play in those situations, it also helps the defensive backfield. And you got to remember, the Cowboys did go out and get a lot of different defensive backfield players this year. Because last year, their defensive backfield was absolutely horrible. Again, you had one of the best offenses in the NFL, but if you pair that with one of, if not the worst defenses in the NFL, you're not going to win many games. The Bengals have been prime examples of that. The Broncos were prime examples of that. If you have the best offense but the worst defense, you're not going to win many games. Because it doesn't matter how many points you score, you're still going to try to outscore the guys going against the worst defense in the NFL. It's a give and take kind of deal. Now, a better defense can cover a lot of a bad offense. Look at the Texans. They made it to the playoffs in the second round of the playoffs because of that defense. And yes, they did play a beat-up Chargers team in week 1 of the playoffs, but that doesn't matter. They were still there. Right? You can say the same excuses with the Patriots going to the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter how you got there. You play to win the game. If you get there, you get there. Doesn't matter who's lining up across the line from you. Those guys are NFL players. They're doing something that I'm not doing and doing something that in a couple weeks over 1,000 people won't be doing, and that is playing in the NFL anymore. Right? You've got 40 guys that are on rosters right now. Guys, I'm having a problem bringing people up. I apologize about that. You have 40 guys on NFL rosters on 30 teams. That's 1,200 players that aren't going to be in the NFL. Now, some of them, what? You got practice squad that is, I think, 16. So that's what? 480? But you've already got practice players from last year. So we're going to stick with the 1,000 player mark. You have 1,000 guys right now who are playing NFL games, who are at NFL training camps, who are at NFL practices, who are at NFL buildings, that here in 3 weeks will not be doing that.
I know. I mean, the thing is, you have millions of people that play football almost every day, and they don't get close to the NFL.
Exactly. How many guys in college never make it to the pros? How many guys that were good in college never made it to the pros? So when you say these teams, oh, well, the Patriots only made the Super Bowl because they played a beat-up Broncos. Yeah, we were beat up. But weren't the guys that played for the Broncos, were they still not NFL players?
Next man up mentality.
So I always use this phrase, and I get it from Herm Edwards. You play to win the game.
I mean, at the same time, you've had backups that won Super Bowls.
Exactly. If I'm not mistaken, Tom Brady is a prime example. Oh, so was Kurt Warner.
I mean,
Kurt Warner was a backup that led to the greatest show on turf and won the Super Bowl. Tom Brady was the backup to Drew Bledsoe. Another one is Ben Roethlisberger. He wasn't the starter, he was a backup.
I mean, look at Brock Purdy. He didn't get pulled in as a starter.
Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. And in his rookie year, because of injuries, took his team to the NFC Championship, took his team to the Super Bowl in his second year. May not have won it, but look what the kid did in 2 years being Mr. Irrelevant.
I mean, Mahomes was a backup.
Nick Foles, another good example. Mahomes, good example.
Mark Ripken, he got the job done.
Just because they're backups, they're still on an NFL roster. So this is why I don't like the mentality of strength of schedule. Again, you're going off of what these teams did last year. There's not a single team in the NFL, not one out of the 32, that has the same roster as they did last year. Not one. And on top of that, what they did last year does not always necessarily roll over. You know, they always say the Super Bowl hangover, right? You win a Super Bowl doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be a dominant team because you got that Super Bowl hangover. And again, that's why I love this time of year. 3 weeks out of the regular season, right? We are 3 weeks out. Because right now it's all hypotheticals. It's all theoretical.
If balloon.
We need the if balloon, and I'm going to find one so we can hold it up. Big old if balloon. Because that's where we're sitting right now. We say, oh, the 49ers can do this if. The Cowboys can do this if. The Broncos can do this if. The Chiefs can do this if. All 32 teams right now can win a Super Bowl if. That's where we're sitting right now. In my opinion, there is not a clear front runner to win Super Bowl 61. Because of that one little word that has 2 letters in it, if. You had a lot of coaching changes. You had a lot of coordinator changes. You had a lot of personnel changes from last year to this year. The Seahawks are not the same team as the team that just won the Super Bowl. They don't have the Super Bowl MVP. They don't have their offensive or defensive coordinator. Those are big losses. You have teams like the Broncos and the Chiefs who's starting, Broncos, Chiefs, Giants, 49ers, whose starting quarterbacks are coming off of injuries. You have the team that they say every year it's their year. Now, no, I'm not talking about the Cowboys. I'm talking about the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen.
Thank you.
Well, guess what? They got a new head coach there.
Also, new defensive coordinator there. New OC, everything.
Everything's new. But it's always their year because of Josh Allen. Well, dude just got a 6-year, $330 million contract. It better be his year in one of these years. If not, Buffalo just threw away a whole bunch of money for nothing.
I mean, Warchain, you brought up a great point the other week on the podcast where we talked about Josh Allen. I don't understand how Armchair, it's his year every year. The Bills get the glaze that they're a Super Bowl team every year.
Yep.
But what have they done to prove that?
The only thing that I know of is a playoff game with 13 seconds. That's all I know of. And they lost that game, but damn, that was a good game. I would have loved to have been sitting next to Warchant for that game. I would have loved to have had a blood pressure machine on Warchant's arm during that game.
I was in the stands during that game, I want you to know.
I know you had told me that.
Wow.
Wasn't it you and your brother?
Yes.
You got to see the legendary 13 seconds.
He got to see it live.
Live in person.
Live.
Now, I will say this, Snaps, you mentioned this, and I did bring this up on our podcast a while back, which is I don't have an issue with Josh Allen and people giving him flowers for what he does as a quarterback. What bothers me is how he can continue to lose to either Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes year after year, and after that loss in the offseason, it's the team to beat this year is the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. He just lost to Bo Nix, and it was wide open for him.
And we can honestly say it was Josh Allen that lost on that playoff game against the Broncos last year.
Yeah, you can't have or can't be responsible for 4 turnovers.
Nope.
And then say it's the fault because he didn't have a number 1 wide receiver, or his defense let him down, or whatever excuse they give for it.
I don't understand that excuse.
There are players, and Bryce knows this, right? We all know that I cannot stand Nick is never right. Okay, we all know that. Who did Nick Wright glaze over for the longest time? Sunshine. Did it. Did it. A lot. Called him Prince. Now he's glazing Mahomes. But he also glazes Allen. We know that there are certain quarterbacks that people make millions of dollars to talk about them glaze. And those are a couple of them. When Sunshine wasn't so bright, Nick, who was never right, kind of, wandered away from him and attached himself to Mahomes.
Let me give you some background on Nick Wright. I don't know if you knew this. Nick Wright was a radio personnel in Kansas City before he went to New York to be part of what he's a part of now. He was there for 5 years, I think it was.
Yeah, but he's still my nemesis. I've had people say they want me to debate Nick Wright. I would love to debate Nick Wright. I would. I'd make him cry, but I'd still love to do it. I can't stand the dude. I really can't, and I get it. He gets paid to do that. He's probably the coolest guy in the world. Right? He's probably one of those guys that you want to go out and have a beer and watch a game with.
He reminds me of Timu Andrew Luck.
Yeah, wow, I never really thought about that, how they could be brothers.
That could be his long-lost brother.
I know, right? They kind of look the same. Hey, what Andrew Luck is doing right now for Stanford, I think it's great. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm glad he's still got that love of football, and he is, I think, Teddy Bridgewater retired again, right? I think he's going to go back to that high school team and do what he was doing, and I absolutely love it. Look at what's his name for the Panthers, who just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Oh, I can picture him. Luke Kuechly. No, Luke Kuechly. Him and their tight end.
Are coaching a school in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Where they
Great. What is his name?
In middle school. Just imagine having a coach like Luke Kuechly and Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen. Yeah, they're both coaches for a middle school football team. I love that. I love how they're taking their experiences and teaching it to the next generation. And I love when NFL players do that. I mean,
that's great, man.
I love Herm Edwards. I loved him as a player. I loved him as a coach. I love him as a broadcaster. I love Herm Edwards. I do.
That's very true. You play to win the game.
You play to win the game, right? You play to win the game. That's the whole point. Doesn't matter who you're up against. Doesn't matter if you're up against starters or you're up against the backups. You play to win that game. You don't go out on that field like, I'm just here. Well, a lot of players probably do, but you're not supposed to go out on that field and go, I'm only here to make my money and then go home. In my opinion, the love for the game has declined a little bit. I'm just going to put it out there. Some players in the NFL's love for the game has declined. Not all, some. But you still got those guys out there who are actually out there to do the right thing on that field.
Yep.
And, when we sit right now, 3 weeks out from the regular season, in my honest opinion, there is no clear front runner for the Super Bowl. I mean, when you look at the betting odds, they have the Baltimore Ravens as a favorite. How?
Their top three is the Bills, Ravens, and the Rams.
Bills, Ravens, Rams. I think the 49ers are in the top 5.
And then Seattle.
Yeah, that's your top 5. Bills, Ravens, Rams, 49ers, and Seattle, I believe, are the top 5. And so, the Ravens, in my opinion, I don't understand it. You just lost Harbaugh. Again, I'm going to say it. I think this is Lamar's last year because Lamar wants Josh Allen money. And I don't know, who was it, Ozzie Newsome there for the Ravens? I don't know if he's going to fork over a 6-year, 360 deal for Lamar. Because Lamar's going to want most likely 360 with around 260, 275 guaranteed. Because Allen got a 6-year, 330, 250 guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean,
And you're completely right too, because no one's gonna pay him that money. I'm sorry to say it.
And then
I
on
think
top
Lamar-
of that, next year, Lamar is due $84 million.
Yeah, he's gone.
I think the Ravens are like the biggest. They're a huge question mark. They've lost a lot of pieces this offseason.
They are. Thank you for
don't
that.
know how are they going to play?
I love.
Defense is depleted though. There's not hide the fact that their defense is depleted. They're good. The defense is good. Hands down, but that defense needs to get better.
But also, their running game isn't what it used to be. He's getting older. He had fumble problems last year.
It's concerning because you lost Linderbaum.
Or what's his name?
Likely's gone.
What's their wide receiver? Flowers?
Zay Flowers just got paid the bag.
Right, he just got paid, but outside of him, is there really any other?
They're relying on 2 rookies in Jacoby Lane, Elijah Surratt,
See?
and then they still have Rashad Bateman over there.
So I don't understand this whole thing with Baltimore. I have Baltimore 3rd in that division. I have it Bengals, Steelers, Baltimore, Browns. Again, the big if is if they stay healthy. And I agree with Warchant 100%. I agree with Warchant 100% that the head coach for the Bengals knows that this could be his last year. Now, even if it is, the dude's going to get a coaching job like that next year.
Yeah, Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor will have the pick of any job he wants that's available. I still think Mike Tomlin's going to be a head coach next year. I think that the Buccaneers and the Bills positions are going to be open up next year. I honestly do. I could see Mike Tomlin going back to Tampa Bay. I believe he was there with Tampa Bay with Tony Dungy, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was. I can't.
No.
Are we?
It wasn't Dungy, no. It was John Gruden.
Gruden. Okay, thank you. So he could go to Tampa. I think that'd be a really good place for him. Buffalo. I'm sorry. I think Buffalo is going to be open again. They're going to do what the Patriots did. They hired from within for a year, and then the year after that, they're going after a big name. If Zach Taylor's out there, they're going to go after him. If Tomlin's available, they're going to go after him.
I agree because I think Buffalo is the type of team that needs a defensive-minded head coach in order for them to thrive as a team.
I got another thought for you, Armchair. How about Sean McDermott out to the Bengals?
I don't see that.
Nick Sirianni is also on the hot seat too.
Yeah, and that's the thing you gotta know. Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni. Well, not only is Sirianni, but what's that guy's name in Green Bay?
LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur. The dang Packers fan wanted him gone last year.
I think it's not the Packers coach's fault, but the players.
Oh, we all know that 100%, but are you going to blame, okay, whose fault was it in Buffalo?
Yeah, I'm going to say it was the players' fault.
But who got let go?
It was the coach.
You're not going to get rid of players that you've given big contracts to, you're getting rid of the head coaches. Your head coach is your scapegoat.
Yeah, that's what they did in Buffalo.
They did it. Yep. They did it in Baltimore.
Baltimore too.
That's why I mentioned McDermott in Cincinnati. If you think about it, Cincinnati's biggest issue is the defensive side.
I think
with Dallas, if you think about it,
Sean McDermott would be great in Cincinnati.
He would.
I think I know. He would, but do I think that he's gonna restructure that offensive line? Yes, I think he will.
What about Sean McDermott in Tampa Bay?
I don't see that.
Really?
That would have worked too.
No, I don't see that. For me, I don't see it.
Now, I do personally feel Tampa Bay needs more of an offensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, agreed. I think LaFleur to Tampa Bay.
LaFleur would be great.
So, do you think LaFleur would want to go there with no Baker?
Why not?
I think.
Why do we believe that there's going to be no Baker?
Baker Mayfield's under contract.
Well, yeah, but not for next year.
Right, but that doesn't mean that they'll just walk away from him.
But
they're gonna try. They're gonna restructure a deal.
I wanna ask you guys this, because there was I think it was like a post on his Instagram saying that he disrespected. He felt disrespect for not getting the extension.
Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, will get an extension. Because if not, Baker Mayfield is going to be the highest commodity free agent quarterback in 2027.
And of course, and I say, why are you not paying your quarterback? Like, come on.
Because there are certain teams that are that way. All right, let's just put it out there. There are certain teams that are that way. The Jets are one of them. That they think they can just continue to roll over, and it's going to work.
Exactly.
But if they let Baker Mayfield walk in free agency,
that would be the biggest flop.
He's going to be the highest commodity free agent quarterback next year.
Well, and if they do that, Armchair, tell me, don't you think that they'll be doing the same thing that Miami's doing this year?
Warrior.
They'd probably eat up a lot of dead cap. Yeah.
Works. What I'm going to say right here is not disrespect to the Buccaneers. They're making him wait so he can make a bigger contract for himself. Am I wrong?
Well, his last contract was a 3-year, $100 million. I don't think Baker Mayfield is wanting Josh Allen money. Baker doesn't seem that kind of guy to me.
No, but
he wants around $55 million. He wants Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts type money.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts type money for real.
Well, I keep reading posts about this could be Jalen Hurts last year in Philly.
Why?
Because everybody wants to put the blame on him.
Well, I think this is hard because I'm a Cowboys fan. I can't say anything, Dora.
But my question is when you look up him, let's look up his contract.
He's getting paid too much.
Oh, because he's under contract till 2029. And he's due, he's got 42 next year, 47 the year after that.
But this is the thing about Jalen Hurts, though. The reason why A.J. Brown left was because of Jalen Hurts.
You know, I don't know if I'm going to agree with that statement. A.J. Brown was a big distraction in that locker room. He had no problem with Jalen Hurts when they won a Super Bowl the year before.
Yeah, you're right. You're completely right. You're completely right.
And I try to tell everybody, because again, my other son-in-law is an Eagles fan. I said, when you lost your offensive coordinator when he went to the Saints to be their head coach, you lost your identity on offense.
Yes.
When Kellen Moore left to become the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, you lost your identity.
Yeah, and you
That's
did.
true.
You did.
And for the Eagles to do anything this year, they have to find their identity again.
I don't think, and I'm sorry to
I think
say
the
it,
problem
I know
was-
this is biased, but I don't think they will.
A lot of people feel that way. You're not biased. I get it. You're a Cowboys fan, but you're not biased. There are a lot of people who feel that way.
I think the problem was-
and the thing is like, bro, like I get it. It's the Eagles. You're overhyping them just to get disappointed. I'm sorry to say it. You got who? The Giants coming in that had good draft picks this year.
It's going to be, my personal opinion, when it's the Giants, especially with the new head coach, and you got to keep Jackson Dart healthy. I think it's going to be a couple more years. And when I say a couple, I'm thinking like 2 years before you really consider the Giants a legitimate threat.
No,
I
and that's
agree.
the thing. And
Uh,
that's
The
the
one
thing,
up with him.
But I do look at the Cowboys as the clear favorite to win that division.
and what
So
I
my
don't-
thing
what I
is
don't-
that
yeah. Go ahead.
my thing is that AJ Brown, he didn't want to sit there and figure out the Eagles' identity again.
No, he didn't.
And he didn't want to sit. He didn't want to have a new OC and do it all over again.
It's hard to say it. It's hard to say it. I wouldn't either.
Well, let's look at it from a standpoint that we all could understand, okay? So you get with a company that you really like working for and you're successful at it.
Yeah.
But they put a supervisor above you that doesn't have the knowledge or ability to be able to do what it is that's been consistently successful for the organization. So you go to the head guy and say, hey, wait a minute here. I'm not happy with the situation we're in. We're not doing things that we did before. And I feel like I'm not an integral part of what's going on to be successful. And I feel like I have talents that's not being used. But the head guy says, you do what you're told. At some point, you are going to have to make a decision. Do I want to stay with this company, or do I want to move to a company where I can be successful?
That is true. Looking at it that way. And I get, like I said, losing your offense coordinator was an absolute crucial point for the Eagles last year. That could be the same thing that happens with Seattle this year, right? The Seattle Seahawks lost their offense and defensive coordinator, and then they gave Sam Darnold a big contract on top of that. So losing that could absolutely affect the Seahawks going into this year. Again, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see until a couple. Again, you don't really know a direction of a team until about 4 weeks into the regular season. So it's all it could be. On top of that, history has proven that yes, losing systems like that do affect teams after a Super Bowl victory. Again, you're the Super Bowl champ. Everybody wants to do what you did to win it. Everybody wants a little piece of what you got.
Not to mention, you're being hunted.
Exactly. So you got to look at it that way. And again, they play in a very tough division. Arizona is not going to be a slouch. I don't know why Arizona is going to be like 0-17. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't think they win the division, but I do think Arizona is going to be a very tough opponent. Kind of like the Broncos, the Chiefs, and the Chargers when it's the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders win the division, but I think they're going to be a very tough opponent.
Especially in that division, because if they can steal a division game from someone, that's going to be...
That is going to be crucial. Especially in those two divisions. Losing a divisional game is going to be a very crucial component moving throughout the year. Because, again, the big IF if everybody's healthy, those are two dominant divisions with 6 teams in total that are absolutely dominant teams. But guys, we've been at it for 2 hours. I greatly appreciate y'all coming in and hanging out with me today. Again, we have a new podcast called Turf Talk every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you guys come in and join us this week. We will be talking about what would you do if you are a NFL owner, not of your favorite team. That's the key component here. Cannot be your favorite team. What would you do different as the owner of that team? What would you do to help more expand, help your fans, do more for your fans, and what would you do for your players? So we will be discussing that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Also, I'm picking the Saints, by the way. I will not be on here Thursday or Friday. I am having knee replacement surgery on Thursday, and I'm taking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to recover, and I'll be back next Monday. But I will be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I will be on Turf Talk Tuesday night with my boy Warchamp, my boy Snaps. We're going to have a great time. I can't wait to hear what they would do, what team they would pick. I think it's kind of cool. We're keeping it a little bit of a secret, but everybody knew I was going to pick the Saints because I love the Saints. I just do. And I got some really cool ideas of what I'm going to do for that team if I was the owner of the Saints. But again, I thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out with me. Again, if you are not a follower, please hit that follow button. I greatly appreciate it. And know that I love you. And my family loves you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday.
Take care, Armchair.
And I hope you guys stay cool, because I know where I live here in East Texas, it's supposed to be absolutely brutal. So I hope you guys are safe, hydrated, and cool. And I will catch you guys on here tomorrow. Peace.
Good day, Jen.
See you later, War Chant.
On tomorrow.